hanging off the wall. But tonight I'm letting it go. Spend my coin for sure. I'm gonna be myself, or I could be someone else. No one's stopping me now. I'm gonna skip my breaks, I'm gonna make mistakes. I just wanna feel alive. It's just what I do when I'm out. So
Hi mga bes! So, I hope you've watched our videos before the transition to travel nursing part 1 and part 2. And now we're all here together since we've experienced to be travel nurses. We're here together to discuss to you how we became travel nurses and what are the pros and cons if you do travel nursing.
Yes, we've had a lot of questions about how did you become to do this, or why did you decide, or like, is it really better, or you know, than a permanent job. So really at the end of everything, the choice will be up to you. But we are here to share what we've learned and what we've done. And
What we experienced.
yeah, so you guys can make a really good decision about, is it something that you can do?
Worth it?
Yeah,
Is it
is it something that you want to do? Like, you know, it will be depending on your decision and your lifestyle and your choices. So let's start with the steps. So really, being or wanting to become one isn't very difficult. Number one, just you have to start with an agency. So we did quite an extensive research, and because we were pretty specific with our needs, Ardi and I.
Our preference.
Yeah, and because it's our first travel nursing gig, we were quite anxious about what our assignment will be, where will it be, and things like that. So we wanted an agency that can cater to our needs. So if you're not as picky as we are, it'll be a lot easier for you to find one. And because of COVID and everything, there's been a boom. There's a lot of agencies, so make sure you research them very well. There will be a lot of recruiters who will be willing to help you.
Yes, a lot.
Yeah, but like I said, choose and find someone or an agency that will represent you very well. That's very important.
So, like for I and Zein, after we've researched, we tried to download the apps of those travel agencies, and then there's always a form like that you will put in your information, contact number, and after that they will really start contacting you. Hey,
It's like a real permanent job.
hey,
Yeah.
we got a job opening at this, the rate is this, and the shift is night or day. So they will message you about those things, and if you're interested, you can always reply back.
I got to choose my agency back in the Philippines, and they were the ones who sent me here in the US. Actually, they will give you a choice if you want to do long-term contract or like a contract. It's like travel nursing too.
Staggered contract.
No, short-term contracts for each hospital. And it's sort of like a travel nursing too, because I get to work with different hospitals as well.
So hers is just a little bit of an arrangement because technically she didn't have a choice of which agency she has to go with. So that's why she will tell you it's very important for you to find a good agency to represent you.
So after you have established the agency and you have your agent, they will now find your assignment according to your preference, of course, if you have a choice on that. Because I and Zein got a choice on
Everything.
everything.
Yeah. Okay, number 2.
Research where you want to go or how much you want.
Like, where do you want to go?
Meaning.
Do you want to stay? Do you want to stay
Place.
in a specific?
Yeah, my manager, I'm good with my manager. She took care of me really well. So I communicated with her that because I've been to 3 states, and I've been to Phoenix, Arizona, here in Texas, about 3 cities, and New Mexico, and I communicated with her a lot that I wanted to stay in Texas. So she looked for a place for me here in Texas.
So a lot of people, a lot of travel nurses don't mind where they want to go. I mean, they want to see like the US. That's a different, good way of doing it. But for me and Madge, we wanted to stay in Texas. We wanted to be close to family since it was our first gig as well. So yeah, so it's up to you. If you want, you just be ready with what you want. Where do you want to go? How much you want to go? You know, because sometimes the offers for each assignment differ per agency, so that could also affect which agency you'll want to go with.
And if you're gonna base it on offer, just make sure to research on that place as well, because it might be a bigger offer, but you also have a bigger payment for the rentals, housing, or way of living on that certain state or place that you're gonna transfer to. So you need to consider all these things once you decided on the place and the offer that your agency is offering or giving you.
Okay, number 3, and this could be, you know, while you're doing your research and everything, but you need to make sure that your documents are all ready. So it's like applying to a permanent job. You need your resume updated, you need your certificates and things, licenses
Certifications,
updated. Yeah. So and it's pretty much something you should be updating anyway, and they will require it from you.
Yeah, and there are lots of requirements too from the hospital, like
Each hospital will have a
like
list of what they want.
ALCs.
Yeah.
You know,
But we're right, you should always have that basic BLS, ACLS, NIHSS stroke scale. And most of the hospitals will do background checks. And also your vaccine history. It's always important at work. If you had this vaccine,
Like hepatitis titers, your MMRs, things like that. If you're
varicella.
It's really like when you're starting a new job, they will ask that from you.
but
So
especially for nurses, they will require a lot of vaccines.
yeah, make sure that you are updated. Yeah.
So when all your documents are settled and ready, you can now apply and follow procedures.
Sign a contract. Your recruiter will follow with you, and that will tell you like these documents, which documents need to be signed or need to be completed. So it's really not a very difficult process, especially if you've got a good recruiter. They will always help you get it done.
HR of each hospital has lots of, they have processes that you need to comply with.
Yeah, but I think like it's different with different agencies. Meaning, in this agency, there's a contact person that you will go through. So she will update you what's going on, what you need to accomplish, and they will give you a timeline for all the requirements that you
There's a
need.
checklist for you.
And
You need to accomplish
some
before you start.
agencies, you will have to do it by yourself. Like you contact HR, what you need, and what other processes
You need to complete.
Yes.
When you're done with all of that, you need to find for a house or hotel. Me, when my agency helps me with that, so
Yeah.
they would, like for me, they would find apartments near the hospital and then they would show it to me, then I would get to choose.
Like most agencies will offer that they can do it for you, but that will take away the stipend. So with travel nurses, you just don't have your hourly rate. You also have a stipend like a housing and a food stipend. So
That's for our agency.
I think
Or most of the agencies
like
do
that. But if they do your housing for you, you don't get that money. So obviously we want the money. So we sorted out our own housing arrangement, and that can be quite a headache because it depends on how long your assignment is, and then
Because sometimes the apartments, they don't offer
short
short
term,
term.
yeah. And then when you
leasing
just go into
contract.
an
It's so
apartment,
hard to find.
about furniture and so
And
it
when
can be a
you
bit
go
of
to a
headache.
hotel, it's quite expensive.
Yeah, and loud, so you can't really control
Uh-huh.
a hotel environment. So it's that's one of the things that I found really difficult during the process, finding a place for us to stay, because we like I said, we were very picky. We did specific stuff. So
And of course, you need to think about your safety. So
Yeah.
you need to look around the community
yeah,
too.
yeah, safety and comfort too. So you don't want to be like driving an hour to get to your work and back, and then it be like a traffic area or something like that. So
Me, I prefer an apartment like 10 minutes away from the hospital.
yeah.
So that when you're tired from work, you could go home right away. And
Yeah, sometimes you could be busy, and then you end up. We're night shifts, so we're all night shifts. So at the end of the shift, when we're already tired, and then it's been a busy shift, and then we have
you
to
don't want
drive
to-
so long.
you don't want to drive through traffic.
Yeah.
It would add more to your stress. So it's important that your housing is near your hospital.
And if you're interested about all this and how you will find housing, you can watch our other video.
Yeah, we'll link it up there somewhere.
Yeah, and we show there how did we go through that process.
We also show you how we can pack, and we kind of showed as well, like our first, how we transitioned to it. Yeah.
Now, the pros and cons.
Yeah, now we'll discuss the pros and cons of travel nursing.
Pros. What's the number one pro that you could think?
Travel. It comes in the name. Travel nurses, and you get to
You get to travel
Yeah.
everywhere. You've got tons of pictures. You get to experience the
Like the area,
area,
the culture.
around.
So we went to Austin. So check out that video when we went out and had a little tour and food tour down there as well. We enjoyed it a lot.
Me, I got to get around Arizona, and then Austin. I've traveled in Austin too, and in New Mexico I traveled around too.
So definitely, I think that's the
the
biggest,
best thing about travel nursing.
That and the salary.
Yeah,
And
but I
the
don't
pay,
have the
the
salary.
This will be convenient, of course, if mostly for a single person.
Yeah,
Yes.
but with families,
It's easier for you to be up and going
Yeah.
and moving from place to place.
But I know some persons with family, they
It's
do travel
harder.
nursing.
It works, but
You have to sacrifice a little bit.
yeah.
Sometimes they have RVs.
Yeah,
I've
I've
seen-
seen people with RV. That's really cool because you don't have to worry about housing, and you can be anywhere you want.
And I know some people who bring their family on their travel nursing assignment.
Shout out to Ate Liz.
Shout
Ate
out to Ate Evelyn
And Ate Trisha.
and Trisha.
Alright.
So next is
Flexibility in time.
like for us, we choose what time we want, what shift we want, and how many hours in a week.
Yeah, and you can choose when you want to work and when you don't want to work. So basically, that's one of the biggest things that made us choose to go there, because you can choose to do your
How many weeks
how
I
many
want
weeks
to
you
work.
Yeah.
normally
And you
it's-
can have gaps in between,
Yeah.
like if you're exhausted already, you can have like a rest period before you
start
start a new job.
Is there a 4-week assignment?
Right now, no. But
There's
there used to be.
6,
6
There
and
used to be.
13,
13,
and you just need to.
and you can
renew.
extend.
Yeah.
Depends on the
Depend.
need. Yeah. So it depends on the hospital
And
needs.
probably if the hospital likes you and if you want to work there, why don't you apply as regular?
That's what I did.
That's what you did.
After traveling for 5, I got assigned to 5 different hospitals. Then finally, I decided to stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we talked about how the pay is quite good. So and
Will
obviously-
not tell you how much.
You get to save.
Yeah.
Travel nursing. Mine is different.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you will
You'll be able
really
to save.
earn.
Yeah, you'll earn more and you'll be able to save more. But then in the cons later, we'll discuss some of the downsides to that as well.
Next,
So
another pro with travel nursing is you get to experience a lot. Like, you get to experience different protocols with different hospitals. You get to learn a lot of computer systems too.
Cases, documentation, and
Yeah. People, nurses' techniques, their
Machines.
strategy in going.
equipment and materials,
Uh-huh.
like what they use, it's not always going to be different, the same.
Yeah, and you also get a chance to meet a lot of people. You'll get a lot of friends.
different nurses, different travel nurses who also got experiences, and through
You
the
learn from them
process,
too.
You'll
yeah,
get to learn from
Really.
a lot of them.
there's a lot of experienced nurses out there.
Because of course, they've already experienced also things
Like, yeah.
like what they did from the past and also from other hospitals. So it's fun learning.
It's a very big learning experience, the whole thing, really. Yeah.
Yeah, and with everything that you're through all this process, you're not gonna just learn from your experience. You're gonna earn some confidence.
You get to
You're
be
gonna
confident.
build it.
I think so
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Like,
I think
Like,
it comes
because
to-
you're not going to feel like uncomfortable to go to work anymore because you know a lot.
yeah, I know this. I've experienced it.
You get
I've been
to
there, done that.
build your
Well,
skills.
done.
You get to build your skills.
So we're talking about the pros. Of course, there's some cons about this travel nursing, and we would like to share this with you. So,
There are some downsides to it.
Yeah, I think everything has, but at least you guys know what they are, so that you can make a good decision about whether or not this is something you really want to do. So, and if it fits, what you want. So our first is that we obviously need to be able to adjust very quickly. So this is something that
like one night, one day.
yeah.
You get to get oriented for 2 days only,
Yeah.
and it's too fast. You need to
Yeah.
learn the system,
The
what they do,
protocols.
and the rest of the things that you need to learn. You would learn for the rest of your stay there.
So you need to be a very quick learner. You
Yes.
be able to pick up very quickly.
It's so
Yeah.
stressful.
Yeah, I think that's one of
But-
the
It's so stressful.
But it's also like a learning experience too. At the end
and
of
you
the
would cry.
Yeah, I cried.
You would cry. Like if it's some difficult hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's still a learning.
Yes.
It's still a learning experience.
It would
so.
make you stronger.
Yeah, stronger. Yeah.
Another con,
Is short-term contract.
there's a gap, and sometimes it takes a while.
Yeah. So
To
you're always
get it-
looking for a job. It's job security basically. I mean, like lately, there's a lot of offers and assignments for travel nursing, and you can always pick up any. But obviously, you'd want.
You need
you
to
want to
choose what you
work
want.
what you want, right?
Yeah.
So
Unless-
that sometimes takes a
yeah.
while.
Unless if you've got a good agent
Yeah.
that will always keep you having a job.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lex Care. Lex Care. Medical staffing, Tanya. Hello.
Yeah.
And what else?
Oh yeah, benefits. So obviously, when you're short-term contract or you're like a travel nursing, you don't have the same benefits as a permanent, like 401k or medical. I mean, we have some medical.
We have
and,
medical
dental,
coverage.
but it's different from the ones that you get for like a permanent job.
So if you're gonna compare, like if you have a regular full-time job and if you're a travel nurse, those medical benefits is higher when you are full-time.
You've got
What do you
more
mean by
coverage
More coverage.
with full-time nurses.
And I think they pay less, and then you don't have life insurance. You can if you want on your own, but it's not like it's not complimentary or something like that. Because I remember when we were permanent, the company offered that life insurance for free or something like that, or just a small amount. And you get like HSA
Yeah.
benefits.
There's critical illness insurance,
Yeah.
accident pay.
And like what is it, like the short term
disability.
So there's
And
a lot of
long-term,
choices if
yeah.
you're permanent. Then like if you were travel nurses as us, we just have like the basic medical, dental, vision. Yeah.
and medical.
Is the taxes the same though?
No, that obviously you earn more, you are taxed more. So for us when we were in Austin, you can't, because you can't be taxed twice. So you have a tax home, and where you work, you can't be taxed there. So that's when your housing stipend and your food stipend cannot be taxed, because you're already paying for what you are paying for in your tax home. So that's where you get money from. But obviously a higher pay rate will also tax more.
And another cons.
Yes, you're always moving.
Yeah. It's hard to move. It's hard to pack up your stuff, no matter how much or how small it is, and then be up and going. But if you're like, there's some people who can just do that, who can just pick up and be anywhere and they'll be fine.
How boys tayo?
Me, I started with from Arizona to a state town here in Texas. From Arizona to Laredo. I just use my car to stuff all my things, and it could fit my car before, but eventually I kept buying stuff.
Now you can fit her car in her apartment.
I can never do that anymore. I've got lots of stuff, so if you're
Yeah,
travel
girls.
nursing, you have to control
Yeah,
yourself in
girls.
buying stuff also.
Yeah, we ended up when we went to Austin, we filled up that
Watch that video.
yeah, watch a video. We filled up my SUV with stuff, and when we came back, we had to go twice, and that wasn't enough. Actually, we had to like
It's just for
It was
8 weeks, right?
6 weeks.
6 weeks, girl.
So
You have stuff,
you need
girl.
to
Yeah.
know how to, because I bought a lot of stuff. Like everywhere I go, I make sure. Like I also have a remembrance for each place, so
Yeah.
I try to bring them. But
You will always.
you will pay more if you ship your stuff. Because maybe before I could fit my stuff in a few boxes, but when I moved to Abilene, I think I have 10 or 11 boxes.
Yeah, it's like
No, girl.
yeah.
Yeah.
You think it's not a lot until you have to pack it in an SUV.
And unpack.
Yeah.
That's the worst part, because you're already tired from moving, and then you need to unpack them. Yeah.
So that's why there should be like rest in between assignments. So
That's very important. 'Cause
those
you
are the pros and cons, and we hope that all that we have discussed in here would help you decide if you want to be a travel nurse.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really hope it's helped you guys out, and sharing our experiences is helping you
Me,
guys
by
out.
the way, I already decided to be a full-time nurse. I traveled for 3 years, and then finally decided, no, I don't want to move anymore. It's so tiring.
Yeah.
And it's important to me that I'm connected to my team now. Like, you have established what they call this, relationships with your teammates now. Unlike before, when I was a travel nurse, I feel so left out also, because every time I move to a new hospital, like there's new people, you need to adjust, and you feel left out sometimes. But as you get to work longer in a hospital, you're building relationships. Yeah.
I think that's a skill that I learned actually, because I'm not a very friendly. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not the type of person to go and
We're not, kasi
approach first.
we're like, hello, I'm here.
Yeah, I'm
No,
not
we're
like
shy.
that. Yeah. And that's why I mostly prefer like being in a place, because I know where things are, and I know the pharmacy tech, I know the lab tech, and that makes it a whole lot more easier. But obviously, I learned to build relationships, and to approach, and to speak up, and to ask questions, and
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's like a personality development,
Yeah,
and career
that's
development
true.
as well. No?
It's like from your whole well-being.
Yeah.
If you decided,
let us know in the comments.
Comment
Yeah.
down
And if you have any
below.
other questions that we may have missed or any other tips as well or pros and cons, we would love share it with us and learn from each other.
So,
sprinkle kindness.
Share the love.
and we
Living
are living the
the
best
best